Hey, welcome back to Morning Dose on this Tuesday. Here's what's coming up this half hour. As the deadline looms to reunite those parents and kids who were separated at the border, we're learning some parents may have already been deported without their children. And a Florida officer goes above and beyond the call of duty to help one homeless man. This story is sure to warm your heart. Morning Dose continues right now.
Now, back to Morning Dose.
And welcome back to Morning Dose. I'm Layla Muhammad.
Good to see you, everybody. I'm Jenny Ann Chondo. Morning Dose is the morning show that sets you up for a day of great conversation.
I love this story we're going to share. People always say, where's the good news, the feel-good stories?
Yeah.
And that's one thing we do. We incorporate, hey, this is what's happening, right? But also,
yeah, you have to.
Here's a moment to make you smile and realize that people are good humans, a lot of them.
Yeah, and it's true. It's funny. People always will say, oh, gosh, I don't watch the news. It's too negative. And yeah, there are hard things happening in our world. That's kind of like when you put together a show, it's like that's the meat and the potatoes. But we have a lot of dessert.
Yeah.
We have a lot of good stuff.
And so the delicious story coming up is about this police officer who spots this homeless man trying to do something very simple, but he doesn't have a mirror. So how he helps him, and then in turn could actually change his life because he helped him.
Yes.
So I love this story. We're going to get to our top headlines first, though, the meat and potatoes, as Jenny put it. Here's Shane Allett with your Morning Essentials.
Jury selection begins today for Paul Manafort's fraud trial. It's the first trial in special counsel Robert Mueller's Russia probe. 5 witnesses have been given immunity to testify when the trial starts next week. This morning, police in Toronto are searching the apartment of Faisal Hussein, the suspect in that Sunday night mass shooting, hoping to find some sort of motive. A 10-year-old and an 18-year-old were killed in the shooting. 13 other people were injured. Breaking now, Israel says it has shot down a Syrian warplane. The Israel Defense Force tweeted that 2 missiles were fired at a Syrian fighter jet that infiltrated about 1 mile into Israeli airspace. The outbreak of tainted salads at McDonald's is growing. 163 people in 9 states have now gotten ill from the salads tainted with a parasite. McDonald's has stopped selling salads at about 3,000 of their stores. Let's take a look now at the live weather radar. North Texas, Seagoville, your start of your day in the high 70s, low 80s for our viewers in Southeast Texas and the Sugar Land area. Keep it here, though. We'll have your full local forecast coming up.
Thank you, Shane. Developing overnight, new indications from the Justice Department that hundreds of parents may have been deported without their children.
Yeah, so there's a new court filing overnight that says, gosh, it's a lot of people. 463 parents were moved out of the country before they could be reunited with their own families. This after they were separated at the U.S.-Mexico border under the Trump administration's zero-tolerance policy. The government claims that all of those adults left the country willingly without their children. But then there's attorneys and activists that are saying it's really not clear if these parents really understood their options from law enforcement at the border.
So we are tracking the conversation as you wake up this morning on social media. It's predictably divided along those party lines. Ross Olson suggesting on Facebook the U.S. government is taking part in a form of child abduction. Williams Cox writing, though, you come here illegally, you get deported. What is so hard to understand? The Trump administration facing a Thursday deadline to reunite more than 2,000 children who were separated from their parents at the border. Yeah, the DOJ says they have already reunited 879 of those families. Today, the government's going to be in court related to this lawsuit by the ACLU that claims that the U.S. deported those families immediately after they were reunited, without giving them a chance to request asylum, which is why many of them came here in the first place. So we'll keep following this story for you. Right now, let's head over to Shane.
A police department in Athens, Georgia is defending its officers who restrained a young boy. And that incident was caught on video. By Monday morning, this video of young Eric Collins had gone Facebook viral. His cousin was behind the camera.
And if you can't control a 9-year-old, like, you don't deserve no badge, period.
Don't fire them, but suspend them at least 30 days to give them something to think about.
The child's father was arrested during a domestic violence incident, and Eric is clearly upset. By Monday afternoon, Athens Clark police stood in front of the media to share the officer's point of view, highlighting how the child leaped towards the officer.
Do that. Don't grab my officer.
Okay.
Don't do that.
Yes, sir.
Back up. Back up. Yeah. Everybody back up. Back up. Back up.
And how the incident on the ground ended.
You need to okay.
Yes,
I understand.
Yes, sir.
You don't run out of police officer.
Okay.
Okay? Let go. No. Okay? You good? Calm down. You got him?
We fully believe after watching the body cam footage and from watching and from the paperwork that we have that they will understand that there is two sides to this story and that the officers had what they had in front of them and had to deal with what they had directly in front of them.
Afterward, Eric is allowed to see his dad, who the family says is his only legal guardian.
Can I have your phone? Because I want to Peter to bail you out. When you get out, baby.
Now, despite showing their support late yesterday, police say the officers' actions are still under review and they are still on duty. Layla?
All right, thank you, Shane. The server at a Texas steakhouse who went viral after sharing a racist message that was apparently left on a receipt. Well, now admitting that the whole thing was a lie.
This is really bad. Okay, so his name is Khalil Cavill, and he posted this picture to Facebook with his name circled. And a note was left on top saying, quote, "We don't tip terrorists." Cavill claimed that a customer wrote it. He says he posted it to Facebook to show that, quote, "racism and hatred still exist." So it was at Saltgrass Steakhouse. This company ended up banning the blamed customer because of the incident. But after a further investigation, the restaurant's manager learned the whole thing never happened. And Cavill admitted to faking the story.
Any reaction on social media, as you can imagine, has been just as swift as the first time. Chuck commenting on Facebook, "We have a real problem. Why does there seem to be so many people out there doing such outrageously negative things for attention to divide people further? Nothing good comes out of things like this, and yet it happens with growing frequency." The restaurant, Saltgrass, says it's invited the blamed customer back for dinner on the house. I'm sure the customer's like, whatever.
Yeah.
And then there's no word yet on this guy, if this guy Cavill will keep his job. I feel like there are enough real examples out there that he could have just shared a post
Instead of making one up.
You know, because it takes away from the real issues that we are facing.
Well, and it makes everyone question when those things do happen, and we know that they have happened.
Yeah, and there are real cases.
It detracts from them because then people say, "Oh, well, that's a fake," or they're probably just making that up, or that didn't really happen, because it is so astonishing to hear some of the things that have actually happened. Okay, many of us would like to slow down Father Time, if not literally, perhaps physically.
What age can you stop? I think I could stop at I should have stopped at 30-ish.
I think, let's see, when did I peak?
30 was a good year.
30 was, I could have gone with maybe like 28.
No, but anyway, we all have our...
just physically.
Yeah.
No, mentally, I choose to always keep growing and learning and experiencing. Sure.
30 was a good year. Reversing those wrinkles and gray hair without some kind of dye or surgery can never happen, right? Well, think again.
Yeah, because scientists at the University of Alabama, Birmingham, doing good work there in Alabama, say that they have found ways to reverse the visible aging process, at least in mice. It's always in mice. In simple terms, we all have what's called mitochondrial DNA. When scientists activated a mutation in mice that caused that mitochondrial DNA to decline, well, the mice started losing hair. They became lethargic and even developed wrinkled skin, just as humans do when they age. So this is the crazy part. When scientists turned off that mutation, the mice returned back to their original appearance. No gray hair, no wrinkled skin. It will still be years, of course, until scientists are able to access the mitochondrial DNA in humans, but this research is laying some of the positive groundwork in terms of how this could help.
You know, I just
You're analyzing your skin now.
I do. I want to keep the elasticity. I want my skin to stay
nice.
supple. You know, I want to keep the skin good, right?
Oh, you have such good skin.
Well, thank you. But here's the issue: my hands are aging. Don't come on a tight shot. I'm not showing. I told this to Keith earlier. I feel like, how do you stop the hands from looking older? I do every kind of cocoa butter, shea butter.
Injections in their hands now. That's a thing. That's
I just like
thousands of dollars of injections.
I want them to be a little younger looking. That makes me sad.
I also feel like you don't have very many problems if the only worry is a wrinkle on your hand. Like, you're doing pretty good.
Well, still, give me advice on my Twitter, Layla Muhammad TV. Let me know about the hand wrinkling. Okay, your local weather's next.
Yeah, people put